the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows but Jesus. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Glory, hallelujah.
Well, thank you, Matthew. That was well done. Well,
Thank
now
you.
we'll take. Oh, you're very welcome. You guys do a great job. Now we'll take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back with Matthew Sabatella and the Rambling String Band with more selections from their album, Songs in the Life of Lincoln.
Whoa, a new digital music player. Thanks, Mom.
Oh, I'm glad you like it, because I can't wait to toss the big stereo. And now that we got your dad that big HD TV he wanted, we can throw out our old TV, too.
Hold up. You can't just throw out electronics.
Really?
They need to be recycled or donated.
And how would we do that?
It's so easy, Mom. Today, recycling electronics is just as easy as buying them. GreenerGadgets.org has all the info. We just enter our zip code to find a certified recycling center nearby. There are thousands of them, and new ones are being added all the time. Some of our local stores are even certified recycling locations.
I like that.
Did you know that some of the stuff in our old electronics could be used to make new products and conserve natural resources?
Well, okay then. Let's gather them up. What was that website again?
GreenerGadgets.org. We just enter our zip code and go.
Welcome back to International Radio Tours. This is Rich Gehlhausen hosting for today's program In Progress with Matthew Sabatella and the Rambling String Band with selections from Songs in the Life of Abraham Lincoln. Matthew, our next song, Battle Cry of Freedom, I'm going to tell you that has always been one of my favorite songs, even as a kid, in regards to that particular era of American history. So I'd like to go ahead and kind of give a little narration for the historical background of that song.
Right.
So, thank you. Though he had no formal military training, President Lincoln quickly rose to become a very skilled and knowledgeable commander. Since childhood, he'd possessed both the will and the ability to master any subject to which he applied himself. And as the incoming commander-in-chief, he applied his determination and skill to mastering the intricacies of military strategy. Ultimately, Lincoln proved to be a more hands-on commander-in-chief than any preceding president. On July 2, 1862, President Lincoln issued a call for 300,000 volunteers to enter military service. Inspired by the call, composer George F. Root wrote The Battle Cry of Freedom. The song was first introduced as at a war rally in Chicago on July 24, 1862, and was soon sung by millions of Americans from New York to California. Now, there are many anecdotes in diaries, reminiscences, and newspapers concerning the inspirational effects of the song. One such claim came from a Union soldier who said that the song put as much spirit and cheer into the camp as a splendid victory. So now let's go ahead and hear the Battle Cry of Freedom.
Rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. We will rally from the hillside, we'll gather from the plain, shouting the battle cry of freedom. The Union forever we are springing to the call of our brothers gone before, shouting the battle cry of freedom, and we'll fill the vacant ranks with 1,000,000 free men more, shouting the battle cry of freedom, the Union forever, hurrah, boys, hurrah, down with the traitor, up with the star, while we rally round the flag, boys, rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom.
Well, thank you, Matthew. You know, I've heard many different types of renditions of that song, and the way you and the band performs it, I can almost imagine I could be at a war rally somewhere in the north in the summer of 1862. I would imagine it must have sounded like that, very similar to it.
Yeah, it probably might have sounded something like that. Those instruments were around. It might have also had like horns in it, more military band sound, or I'm sure people were playing it on piano at that time, so it sounded a lot of ways. This next song, though, is pretty different. It's almost the opposite of that. It reflects the public's changing taste in Civil War music, which, as the fighting was dragging on, it drifted away from, the battle cry of freedom, and kind of reflected more kind of the sorrow of people, the battlefield and the campground. So this song is called Tenting on the Old Campground, and it was written by a young New Hampshire musician named Walter Kittredge. And he wrote it as he was preparing to answer the draft call he had received to fight in the Union Army. The Civil War was the first American war to have a general military draft, and men were drafted on both sides. It turned out that Kittredge was unable to serve in the Army due to a childhood bout with rheumatic fever, but the song he wrote was an instant success and demonstrated lasting appeal with civilians and soldiers alike. Mm-hmm. And aside from its just general significance as a Civil War song to Lincoln, it was significant because one night, shortly after a loss for the Union Army, President Lincoln and General Carl Schurz sat in the White House discussing the recent events. And when night fell, the general went to the piano in an adjoining room and softly played some of the popular songs of the day as the president listened silently. When Schurz finished, Lincoln thanked him warmly and expressed how deeply he had always been affected by music of a sentimental nature, like this song. And this song, Tenting on the Old Campground, was one of the songs that the general played that evening.
Well, let's go ahead and hear it then. Tenting on the Old Campground.
We're tenting tonight on the old campground. Give us a song to cheer our weary hearts, a song of home and friends we love so dear. Many are the hearts that are weary tonight, wishing for the war to cease. Many are the hearts that are looking for the right to see the dawn of peace. Tenting tonight, tenting on the old campground. and the tear that said goodbye. Many are the hearts that are weary tonight, wishing for the war to cease. Many are the hearts that are looking for the right to see the dawn of peace. Tenting tonight, tenting on the old campground. Tenting tonight, tenting on the old campground. We're tired of war on the old campground. Many are dead and gone. Of the brave and true left their homes, others been wounded long. Many are the hearts that are weary tonight, wishing for the war to cease. Many are the hearts that are looking for the right to see the dawn of peace. Tenting tonight, tenting on the old campground. Tenting tonight, tenting on the old campground.
You know, I can really tell the difference, between a song maybe designed to get people to enlist as opposed to a song written by people that are getting pretty tired of a war.
Yeah, Kittredge did not sound too excited to be drafted with that
No way.
song.
Okay. Well, that kind of brings us to our next song, Home Sweet Home. Home Sweet Home, it was written by American lyricist John Howard Payne and English composer Sir Henry Bishop for an opera that was first produced in London in 1823. And the song became hugely popular throughout the United States. It was a favorite of both the Union and Confederate soldiers. But Lincoln and his wife Mary, they frequently invited musicians to perform in the Red Room of the White House. Shortly after the death of their third son, Willie, on February 20th, 1862, the Lincolns were visited by the 19-year-old opera singer Adelina Patti. Now, Mary Todd was brought to tears by Patti's rendition of The Last Rose of Summer, and Patti admitted in her memoirs that the song, with its theme of loneliness and death, was an awkward choice to sing to a couple who had just recently lost a child.